Okay, Coach Freeze is here, and we will go straight to questions. Coach, right side, second row.
Daryl Dapprich, Locked on Auburn. Coach, I've heard you mention publicly before that everywhere you've been, you guys and your coaching staff has done a great job of turning around programs quickly on a timeline that's probably quicker. How do you rank the Auburn situation coming into your two previous stops? Easier, harder, as far as getting the timeline expedited?
If you'll permit me, I would love to. So when I took over at Arkansas State, they had never had a winning season since going FBS. And we won 10 games in year one, won the Sun Belt Conference. Then we come to Ole Miss, and they had not won an SEC game in 2 years. And we win 7 games that year and go to a bowl game. Then Liberty moving to FBS, which I thought was probably after spring ball. I was like, we will not win a game, because somehow we won 8 games. Now, how do I compare Auburn to that? I've thought about this question, and I honestly don't know. I would think it would be easier at Auburn, but yet the league probably has gotten better than it was when I took over at Ole Miss, and so I'm not sure that's an accurate feeling. Now, I was blessed at all of those spots to have quarterbacks that played really well. Bo Wallace and Ryan Applin at Arkansas State, and then Buckshot to Malik at Liberty. And I think that's, you don't have a trigger guy that plays well, you don't have much of a chance to turn it very fast. And so I think a lot will weigh upon how effective we are at that spot. But great question. We have had success doing that. I hope that continues.
Coach, left side, third row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Coach, 42 new players on the roster since the season ended. You've been working really hard in recruiting. What are the benefits of recruiting to Auburn, and any challenges you've encountered trying to recruit to Auburn along the way?
Benefits, I think Auburn should be easy to recruit to. We've got the support, the administration, the facilities, the history. It ought to be Jordan-Hare's an incredible place to go play a game in. So I think we have a lot of great things. I think the culture in the Auburn family is great to recruit to. I think the challenges are you have to hear from a lot of the players that you're recruiting that are elite players. Well, there's no alignment at Auburn. There's no alignment at Auburn. Well, that may have been the case in the past. That's not the case now. And I think they'll sense that if we can get them to campus and they can see the alignment that we have from President Roberts down to John Cohen to myself and to our staff. And so I think the positives far outweigh. I think the greatest challenge that you mentioned is the fact that we have 42 new players and I don't know all their names yet. That's the way I feel. I do. But, I mean, I have not had a time to have deep conversation with all of them. I mean, you literally recruit a portal kid for 2 days, you sign him, he comes to work, and particularly the ones after spring, they come to work with your strength staff, and you're trying to take a little time off, and I mean, that's uncomfortable. And how we're going to mold that in a short amount of time into a unit and a team is probably one of that back to the first question, that may be my greatest challenge to turn this program as fast as the others, is because there's so much new to this.
Right side, back row.
Hugh, John Sokoloff with WCBI down in Mississippi. I know you played against Ole Miss with Liberty a few years ago, but now that you're back in the SEC, you're playing against them this year, and considering your history with Ole Miss, what kind of emotions are you expecting out of that game this year?
Oh, gosh. I hadn't had a chance to think about that one. Well, the emotions I had when I went back, when I was coaching at Liberty, I would think that probably was, I don't know that I'll feel a lot of emotions since I've already done that. And it was back in Oxford. But the day couldn't have gone any better other than the outcome. My family was welcomed, loved on, line at the bus to welcome me there and to see me after the game. I think most people there have great fond memories of what we did there, and obviously we're disappointed at the same time with the way it ended. But I think when time has a way of let's remember the great times we had together, and it's home to me. I mean, I was born and raised there, and so it'll always be a special place. But I have great respect for what Lane's done there, and have a lot of friends there, and he's doing a nice job. But I really hadn't. They're coming to our place, so it won't be like I'm going back to Oxford. It would just be me, and that's been a long time. I mean, that'll be 7 seasons. So it's not like, it's not like it was yesterday. So I don't think I'll have a lot of emotions other than the fact that I'm going to win.
Second row left side, then pass the mic forward. Okay.
Hi, Coach. Claudia Chakamian with WHNT in Huntsville. Just wanted to ask, first of all, why was Cameron Stutz a guy that you wanted to bring to SEC Media Days today? And then what are you expecting out of Alex McPherson this year as kicker, his second year at Auburn, and how important is he going to be to the success of this team?
Stutz has done everything exactly the way you want an Auburn football player to operate. He's a senior. It wasn't easy. Jeremiah Wright's another one, but I do think you need an old lineman. I don't know. I've always believed that, man. You just don't get a lot done without that crew playing well, and I need one or two of those guys to be true leaders. Tate Johnson's the same way. It was not an easy decision, but Cameron's certainly worthy of being here. And then your next question was, listen. I hadn't had a kicker that could put it through the uprights in a long time consistently. It's driven me crazy now. I mean, to the point where I'm just going for it. And look, we hadn't had a game yet, so I'm not. But in spring practice, I was like overjoyed, like every time we kicked, like, oh my gosh, I got a kicker. This guy can put points on the board. And that's the way I felt about him after spring practice. And hopefully that continues throughout the season.
Right side, back row.
Corey LeBounty, WNSP 105.5 in Mobile, Alabama. Coach, you've been on the job close to 8 months now. What have you learned most about the Auburn culture, and what fascinates you most about the Auburn program?
It may be the most welcoming, friendliest. Listen, we love we love the community. We love our church there. It's been incredible. Our pastor Miles has been awesome. My family is all there, so that makes it better for me, truthfully. I don't know. I feel like I'm the luckiest coach to have, 2 of our daughters are out of school and married, and to have them there, and then our youngest to be a student there, and us to all get to experience this together probably makes it better. Not that the other places haven't been. We loved our time in Oxford and have great friends there, and Lord, our time on Liberty Mountain was incredible too. But the passion that the Auburn people have for this program and their hunger to see it return is evident everywhere you go. Listen, for us to sell more season tickets at this point than ever in the history of the program, I don't think that speaks to me or our staff. I just think it speaks to the fact that the Auburn people are showing their support for this program and what they believe it can be. So it's been really welcoming.
2 final questions right here, then pass the microphone back.
Kennedy Wright with CBS 42. Coach, last season, win, lose, or draw, there was this high, intense momentum that really drove the team. Can we expect to see that high intensity this upcoming season?
You're speaking of Auburn. I thought when Cadillac took over, I don't know what point in the year that was, but truthfully, there was a part of me at that point when they made the change that I wondered, because really Jill and I kind of had a list of schools that we would consider leaving Liberty for if it ever came our way, and we weren't looking because we were so happy at Liberty and felt like we could win 8 or 10 games there every year and stay there a long time. And man, you started hearing and seeing what's going on at Auburn, and this is not the Auburn. And I remember vividly Cadillac taking over and watching the Texas A&M game, and that atmosphere in that stadium that night. I remember looking at Jill saying, "Oh, it's still Auburn." And so I hope the passion that you saw there, that I witnessed there, that they played with down the stretch, competing against the top teams, I sure hope that's a staple of something that we can constantly recreate every Saturday.
Final question, second row.
Yeah, Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station. That that A&M game, the players say was just kind of a turning point of the season and pivotal for Cadillac. What do you remember in your coaching career playing Texas A&M, and how much are you looking forward to going to Kyle Field this year?
Well, actually, I know I'm accurate in this. I may not have the number accurate, but I coached the first game since the renovations, and it was the largest crowd to ever witness a college football game at that time, I believe, 110, whatever it was. I remember Holly Rowe interviewing me right before kickoff, and me thinking, this is the loudest stadium that I've experienced at this moment. I could not hear her questions. And obviously, I thought that your fans there were incredibly kind, which I thought was odd for the SEC. And so that's not most places you go to. I thought they were very kind when you're coming down the tunnel and stuff. And I've been very fortunate to win both the games I've experienced there. So hopefully that's something that can continue.
Coach, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.